But Lorenz, I met the first time. I think it was actually Simon from Copenhagen FinTech that met Lorenz the first time at DTU. A new startup coming from right out of university, moving into the Copenhagen FinTech Lab, and then participating in the Nordic FinTech Week in 2024. And then I don't think I should reveal anything more, because then out of excitement I probably already will say too much. So I will leave the stage to you, Lorenz, and tell your story, and as much as you can tell about your future endeavors. Take it away.
Sure. All right. Yeah, that's me on the right. I'm Lorenz. Actually, I'm also coming here from Munich. So I Munich in the house. I studied at TU Munich, and I did a double degree with DTU. So that's how I ended up here in the wonderful Copenhagen, and I'm here to stay, whether you like it or not. And yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of DIWA. We are unlocking the next generation of digital identity. It says digital, forget about that, it's digital. And why do we do that? So I believe that identity is a human right. It is who we are. It's not just a set of physical features like my height and my eye color and how I look like. It's also a set of really who we are, the personal relationships that we have, how we behave. And identity actually is quite a difficult concept to understand, and a quite complex concept. And we as humans, over the thousands of years, we've been developing methods of identifying ourselves very good in the physical world. With the kings at one point, you got a stamp, you're a citizen or a slave or whoever you are of this king. And from there, we iterated over generations and generations of identifying ourselves until now we're at the peak. We have our passport that has an NFC chip inside, and it has a lot of information that can be used to identify ourselves. Also, humans are very good to identify people in the physical space. We've been trained at this, and it's a strength from evolution. So the digital identity is a new concept that arrived with the internet, and we've been very slacky with it. Starting with username and password, we go to more complex things. But actually, right now, every third European citizen is getting attacked on their experiencing attacks on their digital identity every year. And this is very frustrating to see when you're in this space. Yeah, it's quite crazy if you think about the physical world. If someone tried to steal your physical identity, every third, that would be kind of this section. It's unthinkable, and it's happening in the digital space. So we need to change that. And what is changing that? It's digital identity wallets. So this is the next generation of digital identity. A digital twin on your phone that you can use to identify yourself. And the EU, why the EU, I'll explain in a minute. We're adding also the payment functionality to it. So it's really one place. With Thomas recently, I spoke about the Chinese super wallets, WeChat, an app that you can do everything with. This is kind of the vision where we're going, but starting at small steps. Yeah, we're the only and the first and only startup that has been certified by the European Commission on the European Blockchain Services Infrastructure, and that can provide this wallet. So that's something we are quite proud about, and makes us unique here in Denmark. Yeah, so once you have these digital identities on your wallet, you can do many cool things with it. You can identify to banks, that's what's making us a fintech, both the payment but also the identification part. So if you want to open a bank account, you know, imagine you have your passport, all different sets of data that is necessary to open up a bank account. You have securely stored in one place, and you just need to securely transmit that to the bank to verify that. So we have bank account openings, you know, MitID. In Denmark, we have MitID. You probably all know that. It's kind of the next step that's coming is the wallets. And then you can also, as I already mentioned, pay with this. Why is this possible? You know, this is a RegTech and GovTech and FinTech startup. There's an EU regulation called eIDAS 2.0, and it mandates all countries, all EU member states to issue at least one of these wallets, because the EU realized, maybe we should set up our own digital identity infrastructure using Apple and Google for everything is maybe not the best idea. And this is also very good for us because the Apple wallet and the Google wallet is probably the wallets that we compete against the most. But as the EU doesn't want Apple and Google and whatever American wallet providers there are, they don't want them to have our digital identities, so every country needs to do one themselves. So the goal, as I mentioned in the beginning, is to solve this identity security issue and also enable citizens to access digital services in a streamlined way. So the idea is that you can use your digital identity wallet in every European member state, no matter where you go. So in case you move to Spain, you can use your wallet that you have out of Germany or Denmark and access digital services, public, but also private. The market is a new market, so it's very new, opening up with all European citizens, 500 million users. So that's a pretty cool opportunity, if you ask me, to dive into that. Yeah, so what are we going to do this year? We're going to put, or this is also the closing the full circle with Copenhagen FinTech Week, Nordic FinTech Week in Copenhagen FinTech. We really, if a company could have a baby, then we would probably be the baby of Copenhagen FinTech. We've been through all of the steps, the incubation program, the new Nordic FinTech Challengers program, and then last year in September, the Nordic FinTech Week happened, and Thomas was so nice to invite me to participate in a panel discussion together with Thomas, who's also here today. And we already had a pretty good FinTech week, and it was literally the last panel discussion of the whole week. And probably I was also the youngest participant, so I was actually quite nervous to go up there. And then afterwards, very cool corporate approached us and said, "Hey guys, we should talk." And this corporate, I tried to get the legal confirmation today, but there's a few more contracts to be signed. They have a very large reach in Denmark and also the Nordics, and they will enable us to put deeper into the pockets of every Danish citizen in Q1 this year. So that was quite cool, I would say. It wouldn't have happened without the FinTech Week. I like the saying to be at the right place at the right time. I think that was exactly this for us, but also for many other startups and companies that go to Nordic FinTech Week. The only requirement is to be there. You know, you can't be at the right place at the right time if you're not there. So go to FinTech Week this year. Yeah. Just a bit of background. I'm Lorenz, second-time founder. I found it actually quite cool, Matthias, that you said that we need social media in Europe. That's exactly what I thought 4 years ago when I founded a startup called Ivana. It was a democratized social media platform that combines all of this functionality that we know from X and Facebook and Instagram in one. But the VCs in Germany said to me, yeah, but we got the American one. So they didn't see it as critical infrastructure, and in Germany you bounce against walls and you bounce, and that's something that I did not find here at all. That's why I love Copenhagen FinTech and also the Nordics so much, that we are here and we are risk and chance takers. And yeah, just a little side note because you mentioned social media. Then we got our lovely Thomas. He's a real tech genius. If you ask me, he's responsible for all the EU certifications and all the cool stuff that I can talk about then. And we have a board, mentor also very close to us from Copenhagen FinTech. And then we have these partners, DTU, Copenhagen FinTech, Tenity, and the secret one that I can't expose. Sadly, I tried, but it would make a lot of sense if you knew who it was. Yeah, I mean, that's it from my side. Thank you.